Get your mics on.
That would be good. Okay, I'll say 8:15.
Your mic's on.
Thank you.
Forewarned is forearmed. All right, you ready, Tom? All right, good evening. I want to call to order the meeting of the Common Council for Tuesday, March 6th. If you could all press your aye and confirm buttons.
12 are present, Your Honor.
All right. We're all here. If you'd now please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, tonight we as a city council gather to lift the lives of those who call Green Bay home. We ask for your help in making decisions to help our fellow neighbors. We pray for wisdom, for patience, compassion, and compromise as we work together to build a better community. This past week, many in this community gathered to mourn the loss of John Pagel and his son-in-law, Steve. It's tough to lose such good leaders and community stewards. Help all of us, especially the Pagel family, through this difficult time. Let us as city leaders work to carry on their efforts to build a community of hope and prosperity. Bless all those who work to make Green Bay a special place. And during this special time of March, we ask your special blessing on the Irish and all of us who wish we were. As always, we ask you to watch over our military personnel, especially those serving on the USS Green Bay. We ask this in your name. Amen. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the minutes of the February 19th meeting. There's a motion by Alderman Nicholson. That was seconded by Alderman Scannell. Anything you want to change here? Corrections? Seeing no lights, all in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. The minutes of the February 19th meeting have been approved. I'm looking for an approval of the agenda. All right, there's a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Nicholson. Alderman Joe Moore.
Thanks, Your Honor. We have a resolution tonight for recognition of Kennedy Park Neighborhood Association. I'd like to take that item up after the referral of petitions communications.
All right, so there's a motion by Alderman Moore, second by Alderman Scannell to amend the agenda to move 14 up to after late communications. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. Alderman Dwayne?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. I also would like to take number 19 after referral and petitions, unless we can take it after your public hearing.
I'm going to take it after public hearing.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so with that, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as amended by Alderman Scannell and seconded by Alderman Mark Stoyer. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and the agenda as amended has been adopted.
Report by the mayor.
Really just one thing. We, as I mentioned, kind of in the invocation, the St. Patrick's or the Irish. So there's the St. Patrick's Day parade that we have here, and it's great because it's on a Saturday, March 17th. So that starts at Hagemeister Park at 10:30. It proceeds down to St. Brendan's, and then we have the Notre Dame Band, the Heritage Irish Dancers, Brian Cunningham, and then the band Greenmore is going to play. And it's great if you can get down there as aldermen or with your families. We have a little bagpipe. Of course, the police and fire, honor guard lead the walk. So I just want to mention that and invite people to come down on March 17th to join us at 10:30. That would conclude my report.
We're on to announcements.
Alderman Randy Scannell.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would just like to say that as well as St. Patty's Day, St. Baldrick's Day is coming up. And I am going to lose all this. So I am taking donations. No donations too small or too big. Anyone, please? We're running out of time. See me later. I got a Facebook page for it too. And also you can go to St. Baldrick's own page. So let's raise some money to help children's cancer.
The hair and the beard?
Everything, the whole works. If I can get some extra money for the
All right,
beer.
see me after the meeting.
All right, thanks.
I'll make this place look a little better. Alderman Stoyer? I'm sorry. Alderman Stoyer?
Thanks, Your Honor. I've got a couple. Recently, Mather Heights officer and board member Leslie Pierce passed away. Her spirit and passion will not soon be forgotten by the neighborhood and the city. Rest in peace. Also have another one. At our next meeting on Monday, March 12th, the Green Bay Historic Preservation Commission will discuss their nomination to the Wisconsin Association of Historic Preservation Commissions for the recently designated Downtown Green Bay Historic District to the National Register of Historic Places. The 42 commercial, governmental, recreational, and social buildings include classic architectural styles such as Art Deco, Beaux-Arts, Chicago commercial, contemporary, neoclassical, neo-Gothic, Mediterranean revival, vernacular, and Tudor Elizabethan. It's a mouthful. After the razing of extensive areas of downtown Green Bay from the 1960s through the 1980s, this designation ensures that Green Bay now considers historic preservation to be an integral part of the Green Bay urban fabric. So congratulations for that. I'd also like to throw a shout out to our police for the Cerebral Palsy Telethon. Saw you fellas on TV and you look good. So thanks for all your work on that. That's all.
All right, thank you, Alderman. Okay, clerk?
We're on to public hearings, planning ordinance number 1-18, an ordinance amending the official map of the city to revise the future road pattern for Area Development Plan 129 Grandview Place Development. Zoning ordinance number 1-18, an ordinance rezoning property located at 522 and 554 Clement Street and 515 through 552, 553 through 559, and 565 through 601 Rothy Street from light industrial and general industrial to varied density residential district, 2450 University Avenue from light industrial to general commercial district, and 2492 University Avenue from light industrial district to highway commercial district. Zoning ordinance number 2-18, an ordinance creating a planned unit development overlay district for 3065 Sitka Street. Zoning ordinance number 3-18, an ordinance amending zoning ordinance number 1-81 to allow directional wall signage to the O-A district in the I-43 Business Center, and zoning ordinance number 4-18, an ordinance amending planned unit development zoning ordinance 1-15 for land general located north of Finger Road, west of Northview Road, south of Catalina Drive, and east of Erie Road.
Okay. So is there anyone here in the public tonight who would like to speak to any of the items that were just read off by the clerk? If you want to, this is the public hearing. If you want to state your name and address.
Tina Bunker, 825 South Huron Road, Green Bay, 54311. I was here 2 weeks ago for the first public hearing. I do want to mention that the draft copy that I received from Stephanie Hummel on March 2nd does not reflect what's here in this packet here.
What's in the packet is what's going to be adopted. Okay, I think you all received that on your desk, so the council has that.
Which one? The one that I received from Stephanie or the one that was here?
I don't know what you received from
Excuse me?
Stephanie. The packet that's on your desk.
The packet that I picked up here does not reflect a number of the changes that we made from last week, and it is not the same copy that Stephanie emailed me on the 2nd.
We're gonna pass the one that's here. We got in our package.
Okay,
Not Stephanie, this one.
that does not reflect the changes that we made at the last public hearing.
It's been a pain. Dr. Bonk? Yeah, just, boy, this is, okay.
Correct. So the draft that was sent to you was a red-lined draft that has the markings in where the edits were made. The item that is in the packet tonight is a clean copy of that that incorporates all the red line edits. There was one Scrivener's error, which was attached or put on the council member's desk this evening, which regarded the section that talked about materials and change in textures and removing the planning approval for that. So that was not noted in what's been out in the packet, but it is on the council member's desk. So it is noted that that was part of the conversation and will be in the final copy.
All right,
Yep.
thank you. Anyone else speak on any of the items? Anyone else wishing to be heard? Anyone else wishing to be heard? So you can, if you want, you can suspend the rules and, all right, there's a motion by Alderman Dwayne and seconded by Alderman Scannell to suspend the rules to take up items 15 through 19 under one roll call vote. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. Motion to adopt. There's a motion to adopt by Alderman Dwayne, and seconded by Alderperson Dorf. If you'd use the board on this, please. Okay, and those pass unanimously. Thank you.
We're on to referral of petitions and communications. On page 1 of your packet, you have all petitions and communications received by the clerk's office by noon on Thursday. We will now accept any late communications you may have.
We'll begin with Alderman Randy Scannell.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have two. Both are to the Traffic Bike Pedestrian Committee. One is change to 2-hour parking all day, all 7 days of the week on north side of the 1000 block of Crooks. And the others to change to residential parking on Stewart from Webster to Van Buren. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Joe Moore.
Thanks, Your Honor. This is going to be communication shared by Improvements and Services in our planning department. It's to create a manual of specs and standards to be given to developers who are looking to invest in Green Bay.
Thank you. All right, Chris, do you have any?
Yes, I do. For protection and welfare, appeal by Jonathan Rust, the denial of his public vehicle operator license application.
All right, see no other lights, entertain a motion to refer all. All right, there's a motion by Alderman Nenning, second by Alderman Scannell to refer all petitions and communications. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. All petitions been referred to the proper departments. All right, clerk, 14.
We're now going to take up resolution number 14, resolution of recognition Kennedy Park Neighborhood Association.
So as you know, the public and this council has been very supportive of neighborhood associations, and Kennedy Park, and I know you guys are here. This is a good group of people. Well, they're all good people. Joe, why don't you join us up here? We want a resolution of recognition to the Kennedy Park Neighborhood Association. This guy came on crutches. He's supposed to be in Phoenix. Yeah, why don't you guys say hi to you guys? Decide that after this? We're going as soon as we're done. Okay. All right. Yeah, thanks for being here. I understand you're supposed to be doing a little hiking. All right. They're having a meeting after they're officially recognized to elect officers. So I was going to introduce the officers, but we'll do that at a later date. But the council, we're very proud of you and pleased that you have formed a neighborhood association at Kennedy Park. And we want to officially recognize this. And it reads, whereas by the Common Council of the City of Green Bay, whereas the Mayor, Common Council of the City of Green Bay, along with its staff and citizens, recognize the importance of developing and maintaining healthy neighborhoods throughout our community. And whereas the City of Green Bay values citizen involvement and wishes to reach out to all segments of the community by supporting the formation of effective neighborhood associations. And whereas the Kennedy Park Neighborhood Association has been organized by residents of the city of Green Bay with a mission statement that reads as follows: to preserve, protect, and enhance the quality of life by building a safe community among the diverse neighbors and governmental forces to grow an interactive neighborhood. That's a nice mission statement. And whereas the Kennedy Park Neighborhood Association will serve residents of the city of Green Bay in the neighborhood bounded by Elizabeth Street, Eastman Avenue, University Avenue, and Clement Street. And now therefore be it resolved that the city of Green Bay, whose mayor and common council are here assembled, officially recognizes the Kennedy Park Neighborhood Association. And be it further resolved that the mayor, common council, and staff of the city of Green Bay hereby pledge our support and cooperation in addressing the needs of the citizens of this neighborhood in particular and the community in general. So congratulations. Thank you. All right, here we go. Anybody want to say anything? Anybody, you guys are good? All right, well. All right, and Joe, thanks for, or Alderman Moore, thanks for working on that as well. And just want to mention, we're in the middle of a capital campaign to fund our neighborhoods for some of the projects they do. And just happy that we have 43 of these neighborhood associations to support. 44. Thank you, Will.
We'll adopt it now.
What's that? All right, so then we'll entertain, Joe, a motion to adopt Resolution 14. Motion by Alderman Moore and seconded by Alderman Scannell. If you please use the board on this. It's Resolution 14, the recognition of the Kennedy Park Neighborhood Association. This is recognizing the. It's on that screen. Well, it passes unanimously, thank you.
We're now on to reports for council action. Report of the Public Arts Commission.
There's a motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Tom DeWayne, to approve the report of the Green Bay Public Arts Commission for the meeting held on Wednesday, February 28th. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That report's been approved.
Report of the Traffic, Bicycle, and Pedestrian Commission.
All right, we have a motion by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Bill Galvin, to approve the report of the Traffic, Bicycle, and Pedestrian Commission meeting, which was held on Monday, February 19th. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Three. Okay, hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. And what are your wishes regarding item 3? Motion to approve by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderperson Dorf. Alderman Zima.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to ask that this be sent back. If you need more discussion on it, I could not attend that meeting.
All right. So there's a motion by Alderman Zima and seconded by Alderman DeWayne to refer this item back to the committee. Any discussion? All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and that item's been referred back.
Report of the Finance Committee.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Tom DeWayne, second by Alderman Randy Scannell to approve the report of the Finance Committee, and that was for the meeting held on Tuesday, February 27th. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Alderman Zima. Thank you. Turn your light off. All right, clerk.
Report of the Improvement and Service Committee.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Scannell, seconded by Alderman Nicholson, to approve the report of the Improvement and Service Committee meeting for the meeting held on February 28th. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Number 4. Okay, hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. All items have been approved with the exception of item 4. What are your wishes regarding item 4? All right, there's a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Slotnick. Alderman Wary. Hang on, Chris.
My motion would be to hold this item until we handle the bonding requests, which would be, I believe, we won't be handling that until April 2nd at our next council meeting, after we get the bonding request. So it's not the next one, but the following one after that. And the reason being is I think we're working on some things.
All All right, we have a motion by Alderman Weary and seconded by Alderman Dwayne to hold this item as we work things out until the bonding. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. Item 4 has been held.
Report of the Park Committee.
There's a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Stoyer, to approve the report of the Park Committee. That was for the meeting held on Wednesday, February 28th. Any items under this report you wish to handle separately?
3 and 4.
2, 3, and 4? Okay, hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. And all items have been approved, with the exception of 2, 3, and 4. We'll begin. What are your wishes regarding item 2? Motion to approve by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Dwayne. Alderman Weary?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll refer this to the Finance Committee for the night they handle bonding.
Okay. The motion by Alderman Weary, seconded by Alderman Dwayne, to refer this item to the Finance Committee in conjunction with the bonding. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. Item 2 has been referred to Finance. What are your wishes regarding item 3? Motion to approve by Alderman Scannell. Second by Alderman Stoyer. Alderperson Dorff.
Thank you. I wonder if we might take 3 and 4 at the same time.
So the proper motion would be to suspend the rules to take items 3 and 4 together.
Okay, I would like to suspend the rules, take items 3 and 4 together.
That's fine. There's a motion by Alderperson Dorff and second by Alderman Dwayne to suspend the rules to take items 3 and 4 together. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. That motion's been approved. Alderperson Dorff.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to just start with a couple of questions. First about item 3. I watched the video of the Parks Committee meeting, and at the end of it, I was just left with a few questions about exact totals. So I wonder if someone can tell me what the cost would be of the total Bay Beach project, including, the pier, the boardwalk, the bathhouse, the swimming beach. What is the total cost of that?
We have the engineer here who has been working
okay.
on this. And if you would make a motion to open the floor,
I would,
I think.
yes.
All right, so we have a motion by Alderperson Dorff, second by Alderman Galvin, to open the floor to hear from interested parties. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. We're discussing items 3 and 4. They both have to do with the Bay Beach Amusement Park project. And we've asked for a presentation. I know the engineer is here, so Roland, if you want to cue up what you kind of did at the committee. You should here. Introduce
Do I need to do
yourself.
anything? Yes. My name is Roland Haslett. I work with Patrick Engineering Associates, and we've been working with the city for a little over 2 years on the Bay Beach project. I do have a presentation that has just a couple slides. I'd like to see how we get that activated.
Okay. So. Hit podium. What do you say?
He's up there, okay.
No, I want to get his. He's got a PowerPoint. Is. What?
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Again, my name is Roland Haslett. I work with Patrick Engineering, and I've been working with the City of Green Bay for a little over 2 years on the Bay Beach project. If I may take a step back in time, in the early 1900s, Bay Beach had a beach, a bathhouse, and a pier that extended over 500 feet into the Bay of Green Bay. From this pier, a steamboat would take passengers from Bay Beach and bring them into the Fox River and dock them on the south side of Walnut Street. In the early 1940s, the beach was closed, and by the early 1970s, a revetment was constructed as a flood control measure, and from that point forward, access to the water and to the beach was closed. Currently, what we have is a large revetment that has a walkway on top, probably a 6 to 8 foot drop off. There's a steep slope and heavy, large riprap stone that's along the entire shoreline, preventing full access to the water. Now imagine a nice sunny day in Green Bay, and you'd like to take a leisurely walk in dry, clean sand, or perhaps you want to throw the Frisbee with the kids, or perhaps you just want to take in the sun and lay on the beach and enjoy the surrounding area, not only the amusement park that's nearby. What's being proposed is a 120-foot dry beach at normal water. You can take a short 2 or 3 steps, not 8 feet, 2 or 3 steps up from the sand beach that we're proposing to the boardwalk to get an ice cream or to perhaps go back onto the rides. So in detail, what we're proposing and have been working on for some time now is a 1,000-foot beach that extends from the east property line of Bay Beach to the west. We're proposing a boardwalk, an improvement of the boardwalk from the east property line to the giant slide. We're proposing a bathhouse as part of the project, perhaps with concessions and bathrooms. And we're proposing a viewing platform that will extend 450 feet, not quite as long as the original, but 450 feet into the Bay of Green Bay. On this platform, there will be 3 lookout points that really will enhance the viewing opportunities of the nature area to the west, perhaps watching the beach and beachgoers to the east. And at the end of the dock, platform, as you see, it's designed to basically point right to the rising sun in July. At the end of it is a 60-foot by 16-foot fishing platform or viewing platform, and there will be ADA accessible fishing opportunities at that location. In addition, as I mentioned, there will be stairs 2 or 3 steps high. There will be an ADA accessible ramp providing full accessibility to the beach and to the water, and small dunes to maintain the condition of the sand, as well as providing a buffer between the hardscape. Now, we've spent over 2 years working on this project and really looking at the optimum design of a beach, a bathhouse, and a viewing platform. And this extensive work has been in conjunction with the Parks Department and the Public Works Department, as well as the regulatory agencies. We've done testing on the sand that's currently there, and the tests have proven that there's no contamination of the soil and sediment that's currently there. Besides that, we're talking about bringing in a lot of sand put on top of that. Now, one of the concerns is the cyanobacteria, which is blue-green algae. This is not a new phenomenon. This has been going on. If anybody lives in Green Bay, they certainly know this does occur. When it occurs, why it occurs, is still being studied. In fact, the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, in particular, as well as perhaps others, are studying extensively to understand better what happens with the cyanobacteria. It doesn't happen all the time. It happens typically in warmer weather, especially as the summer season goes on. Perhaps it happens when you get a first flush after a huge rain event and the sediment comes into the Fox River and disperses out into the Bay of Green Bay. Now, what's going to happen is there's studies. The studies are going to look at models, and they've developed models that have input parameters into the scientific model, if you will. This is really not much different than what you would do for the weather, for example, where you have inputs. It is scientific. There is information that's provided, but can one predict exactly when and how? No different than the weather. You can predict that we're going to have a storm, but will it happen exactly here and exactly at this time? But there's confidence levels to that. we're actually looking forward to those tests. We're actually looking forward to this study and all of these studies and the interest that individuals are having, because again, this isn't a new thing, but we want to learn more about it and we want to protect the public health. So working with the Parks Department and as part of the permit process, we will have a rigorous testing and monitoring program in place to ensure that the public will be kept safe during, if there are occasions of the cyanobacteria coming into the bay and onto the beach. I'd like to say that the city is a little over 100 years away from the original beach, bathhouse, and viewing platform, and has an outstanding opportunity, really a historic opportunity to bring back this beach, the bathhouse, and the viewing platform. We're approximately 3 weeks away from the Department of Natural Resources. They've already tentatively accepted and we look forward to a permit in 3 weeks. Lastly.
Okay. Do you have any other pictures, or else I'm going to put you on?
Nope, this is it. Lastly, we've estimated the cost of the bathhouse, the boardwalk, the viewing platform, and the beach to be $5 million. My understanding working with the Parks Department is that $1 million perhaps in fundraising, $1 million in grants that we believe we can obtain through public grants, and $3 million in bonding. And just the last piece of this puzzle is really the giant wheel that's already in motion at the south end of this viewing platform. Thank you.
Questions for the engineer? Is it Alderperson Dorff, you still have the floor?
The only question, I would have with the cyanobacteria, that would be probably similar to they do this at many beaches, right? Where they close the beach when they detect certain bacteria in the water. And so as I listened to the video, I know that was one of the concerns at the meeting about that bacteria, but you're saying we're going to monitor that, and then if there is some of this bacteria, we'll close the beach?
Yes, no different than
Any beach.
In America, they test for E. coli, we'll be testing for cyanobacteria, and the beach will be kept safe during those events.
You good? Right. All right. Thanks, Red. Anybody else want to speak to this? Yeah. Well, she.
Yes, please. Hi, good evening. My name is Julia Nordyke. I work for the University of Wisconsin Sea Grant Institute. I am based here, I'm an employee of UW-Madison, but I'm based here at UW Green Bay. I'm the water quality outreach specialist here for the Great Lakes. So you can kind of think of me as a county extension person, except for the river and the bay. Okay, so if that's helpful. I provide outreach and educational programming about water quality issues throughout, for both along Wisconsin's coastlines for both the lakes. In addition, the reason I'm here tonight is that I'm here to speak on behalf of the Clean Bay Backers, which is a group that I help coordinate. We were asked to come present a statement. And so the Clean Bay Backers are a very diverse group of stakeholders that are public, private, and nonprofit members. It's the Citizens Advisory Committee for the Lower Green Bay and Fox River Area of Concern, which is our designated area here that's a polluted hotspot, okay? And so the Citizens Advisory Committee has been around since the 80s when there was a remedial action plan developed to restore the health of the Lower Fox River and the Bay of Green Bay. So the Citizens Advisory Group Committee advises the DNR with the citizens and the community's interest at hand about how to helping to restore the health of the Lower Fox River and Green Bay. Last fall, the Clean Bay Backers do an annual tour for elected officials and community leaders to talk about the opportunities and challenges of restoring the Bay. And so we focused on the restoration of Bay Beach. So I'm going to read a statement that was prepared on behalf of the Clean Bay Backers. And I would just like to mention also that we are a we're not a nonprofit, we're non-advocacy, so we really function as a collaboration to provide education and outreach on restoring the river and the bay. Okay. And I'm sorry, my printer wasn't working at work, of course, so, all right. But I can send this out later if it's helpful. Dear council members, improving coastal public access and recreation along the Fox River and the Bay of Green Bay is one of the 4 priority actions of the Lower Green Bay and Fox River Area of Concern Citizen Advisory Committee. Restoring swimming and public access on the river and the bay have been the 2 primary goals of the Remedial Action Plan since 1987. These goals are also made clear by the Great Lakes Water Quality Agreement and have been part of the Clean Water Act, restoring fishable, swimmable waters, since it was signed into the law in the early 1970s. The research to date confirms we have continued water quality problems that persist in the bay, much attributed to the excess nutrients that lead to harmful algal blooms and the dead zone in the bay. The harmful algal blooms are of particular concern to public safety, as they can produce liver and neurological toxins that can cause skin rashes, GI problems, and varying degrees of nervous system, liver, and kidney damage. Due to current water quality conditions in the river and the bay, there are certainly times when activities that involve water contact will pose public safety risk. The Clean Bay backers support restoring a public beach at this historic location based on the knowledge that there are currently several beaches in Wisconsin and the Great Lakes that also have water quality issues and that are monitored for bacteria and blue-green algae blooms, and implement public safety plans. I'd like to point out there is a difference, though. Many beaches are monitored for bacteria, which is more from either animal or human waste and stormwater runoff. And blue-green algae is cyanobacteria, and it's when it breaks down, it's the toxins that can from the cyanobacteria, blue-green algae blooms, that can cause problems. So there is a difference in the types of testing and differences in the bacteria. So there are many activities a public beach can provide as a community amenity in addition to swimming, including opportunities for picnicking, beach strolling and combing, relaxation, and aesthetic enjoyment. In addition, there is evidence that Wisconsin beaches restored and preserved provide a boost to local economies. In a 2016 study by the Wisconsin Sea Grant and University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, they found that average spending on beach visits per capita to an urban beach such as Bradford Beach in Milwaukee or a destination beach at Peninsula State Park was $6.64 to $44.67. So that's per person per beach visit, respectively. Bay Beach would be both considered a local and destination beach, increasing the economic potential of this amenity. Continued research and monitoring are needed to ensure that public safety, the public is safe when swimming is present. And we applaud New Water to providing water quality information on a continuing basis that will help us understand how harmful algal blooms do impact the bay and possibly public safety. And the last comment is that the Fox River and the bay are Green Bay and the region's greatest asset. And the restoration of Bay Beach will boost the local economy, improve quality of life for its visitors and its residents. Sincerely, the Clean Bay backers.
Thank you.
Oh, and sorry, one more thing. I'd like to also offer from University of Wisconsin Sea Grant and then also New Water, I spoke with them, and we would be happy to provide a water quality briefing and answer any questions in further detail at another city council meeting.
Great, thank you. Questions now? All right, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak to this item? Well, one more here.
Dave Charles, Friends of Bay Beach. I don't have any technical slides or fancy words for all this stuff, but anyway, first issue is you should know that your new Ferris wheel is really doing well. They're manufacturing it, and it will be on schedule and open the 19th, or the season of 19. The new train's coming along great. It's looking good. The new cars came into the shop last week, which we acquired, which will almost triple the capacity of the trains, and the new food court is getting ready to open, so The beach is really looking good. We believe this is a very good opportunity to accelerate the growth of the beach. You know, we have the 20-year plan and we're on schedule and everything is being done just as asked, but this would allow a number of these major things, the boardwalk, the beach, the pier, the bathhouses, to move significantly ahead of schedule, to service literally, I believe, hundreds of thousands of additional people with the addition of the wheel. We're also very concerned, as we have always said, with the safety of all the guests that come to Bay Beach. I spent probably 5-10 hours in the last 2 days satisfying with engineering that they are capable of monitoring. Dan has committed that, you know, Park and Rec is 100% committed to everything necessary to make this a very safe swimming beach and overcome that. There really is only one issue to overcome, and that's safety. Everything else makes sense, and it's a good investment. And in fact, we'll even offer to work with the city if they would like, as an outside resource, to give everybody a second view of that safety factor on the beach before they're opened or closed. And so anyway, I guess in short, we think this is a good idea. It would be great if you could pass this, get the project moving. I think we could have that pier under construction and probably open to go along with the Ferris wheel in 19, if you could get it through. And it's just a great opportunity. And so anyway, we hope it goes well. If you have any questions of us at any time, please don't hesitate to call, but thank you.
All right, thank you, Dave. Any questions? All right, thanks. Any other comments, any other questions? Anybody else from the public? All right, there's a motion by Alderman Dwayne, seconded by Alderman Scannell to return to regular order. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. Alderperson Dorf, you still have the floor.
Thank you. So that's answered some of my questions. It seems a little stretchy to think that we could get both $1 million in fundraising and $1 million in grants. But I'll hold that thought for a few minutes. Just to roll number 4 into this, the little pocket park playground, that's a $60,000 item. And, you know, as I listened to the people talking in the video, it seems like it would be a really nice addition to that area. So in the end, I'm thinking, we're holding Colburn Pool over. We're holding that decision over. I wonder if I would make a motion to hold 3 and 4 and to talk about it more at the next meeting. We'd still be in time for bonding and to come up with maybe a plan for all 3 of those items. Okay?
Right. So the motion on the floor is to hold items 3 and 4.
Yeah, would it go to finance? Help me, guys. Finance? To talk it over? No, or back to improvement in services?
Well, it's coming out of parks. So
Oh, I'm
the
sorry, I meant
motions 3 and
parks.
4
I meant
came out of
parks.
parks. So you can refer this back to parks to refine it. You can refer to finance, or you can, which, if it's the money you're talking about, it should go to finance. If it's the design, it should go to parks.
Do we need to worry about we have the
And
design.
I think the design's pretty solid. Right.
I think finance.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
Is that a second?
Thanks, Andy.
Right here.
All right. So we have a motion by Alderperson Dorf and second by Alderman Nicholson to refer items 3 and 4 to the Finance Committee. Alderman Moore, did you want to speak on that?
I'll speak on referral. Thanks, Your Honor. I would definitely support referral on this. What I'm looking at though on this, I think some of our past projects and how they've gone up in price over the years. Remember 2012, Colburn Pool was a $4.5 million quote. And we're 6 years later and trying to determine how we're going to pay for it yet. So I would hate to see something like that happen with this beach. I don't believe anybody's going to convince me that splitting this up and just handling a portion and splitting it into 2 or 3 different phases is going to, look, if you can convince me that the costs are going to go down by doing that, then I could see splitting this up. But I really think it needs to be rolled up. I think it needs to be the full full $3 million and bonding and taking the whole project as a whole, submitting it as a whole bid. Otherwise, you're sending out separate RFPs on a year-to-year basis and bonding on a year-to-year basis. We don't know what the future holds, but I can't see these prices going down. I would just say, look, last year on the 125th birthday for Bay Beach, that was Lily's 7th birthday. We spent 12 hours at Bay Beach. That's what she wanted to do for her birthday. And at the end of that night with the fireworks, Lily was out running around in the water and splashing around on the beach, and there were some other kids doing it too. So, I mean, yeah, she's got some super strength and x-ray vision now, but I mean, I haven't seen any negative effect out of that water on her. So, look, I think we go out to Algoma, and we sit on the beach in Algoma and enjoy the sun, and we don't even go in Lake Michigan. I think having the beach is important. The water is kind of one of those peripheral benefits. You can use the water or you can't. But the beach, the boardwalk, and the pier would get a ton of use. And I just see a lot of great benefit here. I've had requests from neighbors asking when they can start setting up like volleyball tournaments and stuff. I mean, look, it's not going to be like we're bringing millions of dollars in a volleyball tournament, but we are bringing people in, and we're creating activities. We're making this a good, fun place to live. So I really hope, and this is my committee for a few more weeks, and I hope that we can come together on this and just get this project done. We've got an opportunity to take advantage of the momentum that the Friends Group has created, and really, once their commitments are fulfilled, and if things level off or get a little stagnant, it's going to be a lot harder to get grants and to get people to commit to donations. So I think, look, let's go all in on this thing, and let's get it done. Let's make a decision and make something great out there.
All right, thank you, Alderman. Alderman Vanderleest?
Thank you, Mayor. My thoughts are that we should move slowly as far as bonding. $3 million is a lot of money. We talk about bonding for road improvements, and we hardly do over $1.5 million. I think that, overall the city debt is, teetering at close to $200 million. My recommendation would be that
I just want to be clear. What's 200 million?
our city debt is quite high.
City debt, okay.
City debt is quite high.
That was 12. Okay, I got it, sorry.
Okay.
You're right,
But
okay.
my communication is that, $3 million is a lot of money to bond for. We can't just bond for everything. I feel that this is a nice project. I have no complaints with the project. I think that this could be done on a fundraising basis. $3 million, I think we could spend elsewhere. That's my thought.
Okay.
And
All right,
we
so
should
you
look,
support
we
it
should look
going back to
closer at
finance.
our own infrastructure. This is more of a perk. It's more of a perk, and Bay Beach is a great place to have it, but I think that it could be done, on a private sector basis, not on the city
Okay,
side.
thank you.
Our money's not that wonderful here. Thank you.
Alderman Dave Nenning?
Thank you, Your Honor. I also will support referral on these items. Just a little bit of background. The Park Committee received the recommendations from staff on bonding at the meeting, so no one really had any time ahead of time to review those. I reviewed them with the staff, but my other members did not. When it came to the Pocket Park, we had very little information. It had never been discussed with our committee before, and our committee was a bit rushed that night because there was a public hearing on special assessments scheduled for the Improvement Services Committee. So we had a very rushed meeting, and that $60,000 was taken out, but our plan was to have a presentation at the next meeting on it, so we can look at it in more detail, specifically where it is, what it would be, what the money would be used for. Alderman Nicholson asked a question if any TIF money was available, and we don't have the answer to that yet. So we are intending to have a further discussion on that. But rather than having these issues discussed twice here at the council, then at Finance Committee, and then at council again, I think the most expeditious way of handling it is let the Finance Committee review the list. If there are recommendations to change any of these things between now and then, there certainly is an opportunity to make further recommendations. And I also think, in terms of Alderman Vanderlee's concern, typically when the Finance Committee gets the bonding and they've got the requests from all of the departments, we have a better idea of what is being requested in total for bonding. At this point, we have the Public Works portion that we approved at the Improvement Services Committee. We have a park portion. I know there will be things for other departments as well. So I think the appropriate thing is to have a thorough discussion on this. Anyone that has an interest in any particular item, be at the Finance Committee, and then we'll have a discussion at one time at the council on the whole thing.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Alderman Tom Slottick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I support the motion. I'm going to vote for it. I think referral to the Finance Committee is appropriate. However, I do want to say that in reviewing the minutes of the Parks Committee meeting, I saw something in there that perplexed me, and that was discussion about whether these bonds would be paid for out of the levy or whether these bonds should be paid for out of Bay Beach revenues. And I thought that we were handling Bay Beach as an enterprise fund. And if so, it would seem like these bonds ought to be supported by revenues from Bay Beach. I'll work that at the Finance Committee meeting. Don't need to work it now, but I just wanted to raise the issue. And if I could, please ask staff to, at the Finance Committee meeting, bring forward information about the history of declaring Bay Beach an enterprise fund. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Tom DeWayne.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't want to repeat what Alderman Moore said, but looking at this, I'm going to support referral, by the way. There's a lot of questions people have, it seems like. But I can tell you, I don't want to go down the street as we've had in the past where we piecework things and all of a sudden we're paying 3, 4, or 5 times more than what it would have cost us. I think generally when they do these type of projects and there's fundraising involved, and they see that Green Bay is genuine and are going forward with this project, it's a lot easier to fundraise than, staggering it out. Also, as far as grant goes, I've been involved with many with the, I'm not a grant writer. I don't go after them, but we talk about them, we discuss them. So I know about them and generally know how they work. And when you file for grants, you got other municipalities that file for the same grants. And when they see that we got a lot of money into it, into the projects, they typically will go with something that's more secure and further along than someone else that's thinking about doing something. So that comes in play too. I think we got to look at all that. But like I said, I don't want to repeat what Alderman Moore did, but I just did. Thanks.
Thank you. Alderman Chris Weary.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate what Alderman DeWayne said about donors because we do appreciate them very much. It's difficult to fundraise, and I applaud those who do donate to our city because it is greatly needed, especially in the Parks Department. I think with all the parks projects that we're going to be discussing in the next few weeks, we have a great opportunity to do some really unique and wonderful things in the city. And so I'm looking forward to the council looking at all of them and looking at them as a citywide impact of what it will do for the city, not only for the citizens, but for economic development and just keeping what we have in place. Now, I know we'll be discussing the Pocket Park next week at Parks. We'll get a full presentation on that, and so we'll be ready for council. I think it's fitting we hold the debate and discussion for bonding night. We'll get a lot more information in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll have a wonderful vote coming up. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, so the motion and the second on the floor is to refer items 3 and 4 to finance. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. Those 2 items have been referred back. That means to finance. All right, clerk.
We're on to report of the Personnel Committee.
To approve.
right, there's a motion by Alderman Tom Dwayne, second by Alderman Randy Scannell to approve the report of the Personnel Committee. That was for the meeting which was held on Tuesday, February 27th. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? You guys want to pull two? We don't have to. All right, seeing no lights, all in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it, the report's been approved.
Report of the Protection and Welfare Committee.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Scannell. Second by Alderman Mark Stoyer to approve the report of the Protection and Welfare Committee for the meeting held on Monday, February 26th. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it.
Report of the Protection and Welfare Committee granting operator licenses.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Tom Dwayne, second by Alderman Randy Scannell to approve the report of the Protection and Welfare Committee granting licenses. Are there any names on here you want to handle separately, abstain from? Seeing no lights, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it, and that report's been approved. Hang on, before you pack up. We need to go revisit item 15? 19?
Your Honor, I'll ask for reconsideration on that.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Moore, second by Alderman Scannell to reconsider item 19, resolution 19, I'm sorry.
Ordinance third reading. Sorry, thank you.
We have some edits to that. So there's a motion, a second to reconsider, what number is it? 19. Okay. All right, fine. Ordinance 4-18, item 19. All in favor of reconsideration, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. All right, so that item is now being reconsidered. Dr. Vonk, you had some edits, or Tina?
Yes, so, Ms. Bunker was correct in terms of the Scrivener's error. We had revisions at the first reading, and those did get incorporated in the draft. The right draft was not incorporated or sent to the clerk in what was printed. So I just want to make sure for the record that we reflect the revisions that were agreed to at the first reading. So that would be section B3F, which is on, I want to follow along, on page 19E. For that, multifamily should be struck, and then a sentence that says, "The same restriction shall apply to multifamily buildings or a portion of such buildings that front onto Erie Road and Grandview Road." C6, materials, which is on page 19G. That was the Scrivener's error that was printed on your desk, but just as long as we're doing this, we should strike with planning approval and also strike the not in there. So it reads that a major change in texture on a material can be considered a change in material. And then we need to enter a J8, which would be on page 19L. This is the one where we talked about the trails, and that was the sentence that said the developer is not responsible for the installation of trails. Dedication of trail areas to the city shall be done at the time of plating. Trails will be installed at the City of Green Bay Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Department's discretion. Those are changes we made at the first reading. They were not in the printed one that went out, so I just want to make sure that those get read in, so they're in the official ordinance that is adopted.
Your Honor, I want to move those amendments into the ordinance.
All right, so we have a motion by Alderman Moore, second by Alderman Nicholson to adopt the amendments as stated by Director Vonk. And this is an ordinance, if you could use the board on this. You know what? Right, I want to adopt this as amended. All right, by Alderman Moore, second by Alderman Nicholson. You guys got to use the board again. Sorry. Yeah, I got the amendments. I need all of it.
Oh. I forgot one click.
All right, and that passes as amended. Thank you. Clerk?
Receive and place on file municipal court report for November 2017.
Motion by Alderman Dwayne, second by Alderman Scannell, to receive and place on file the court report of November 17th. Any discussion here? All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it.
You may, under suspension of the rules, adopt ordinances 10 through 13 together with one roll call vote.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderperson Dorf, to suspend the rules for that purpose. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. Motion to adopt by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Weary. And if you'd please use the board, this is 10 through 13. All right, and those pass unanimously. Thank you. That's it. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
By Alderman Dwayne, seconded by Alderman Stoyer. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, all right, see you at St. Patrick's Day. Oh, it's coming off, huh? It's about time.